Hello everybody. What's going on? Welcome to a special stream here on YouTube, and we're going to be checking out a new upcoming MMO Pax Dei. This is one I've been keeping an eye on, which is pretty much all of the MMOs. Pretty much every one of them is one I'm keeping an eye on, but yeah, I wanted to, well, we're going to jump in. This is a sponsored stream, and I'm just going to check out the game. There's links below if you guys want to check it out yourself. Check it out on Steam Wishlist or check out the website. But basics are, it is a survival sandbox MMO. And this is an alpha test, so pretty early days. This test, from what I gather, is primarily focused on gathering, crafting, and building. And one of the things that, when we first took a look at Pax Dei, when it was first revealed, one of the things that they were really emphasizing was that it's a completely community-driven MMO. And in that vein, everything here was built by players. There's actually no, like, pre-built cities, no NPCs. The questing and exploration in this game is supposed to be entirely like just kind of as you discover things. Like you'll like find like little parchments of paper, and with that you'll be able to see. My chat is like not working. There we go. With that you'll be able to see, like, oh, you know, go into this cave and whatever yonder and like see what's in there and whatever. Hey, guten Abend, Vonatar. Is there combat? Yeah, although from what I've seen, it's fairly minimal here in this build of the game, but there is, like, combat does exist. I think that's something, so this is still an alpha build, so I think that's something that they have said they are, like, the combat that's even in this version of the game is really, really early and not complete. So, from what I've played so far, it was really just simple. Like, look at this. This is actually pretty cool. This is player built. I played a bit a few days ago, and I was in this starter area, and there was nothing here. And now, all of a sudden, like, this is here. So this is pretty neat. I actually want to, before I go anywhere, I kind of want to jump in and check it out. Your hotbar is blurred? Oh, there's nothing on my hotbar. I don't have anything yet. The character that the character that I've been playing, I died and I, like, lost all my stuff, basically, so. Hey, thanks for the 10, Seymour. So, I think I could just go in here unless there's, like, permissions where they locked it. No. Dude, I cannot believe people built all this. I spent, like, hours trying to build a basic 4x4 hut. So, I don't know how... Like, this is insanity to me. Now, these were all be locked, yeah. But I think I can use their, yeah, I'm capable of using their crafting stations. At least for any ones that I have the skills for or what have you. Why did I just sound like I was underwater? Well, alpha would probably be the answer. The answer would probably be because it's an alpha. I'm gonna see if I can go get my stuff. I actually don't see... Oh, here's all their, like, crazy storage up in the top level. I actually don't see my corpse, but it's been a few days, so maybe it just disappeared. Maybe because I didn't get it. But I did have a camp set up with my friend, and I want to go see if I can actually go to the camp, because we had some private storage there. So unless there was, like, a server reset, I think that's the other thing. Because it's alpha, it's possible that there was some server reset. What happens if you log out for a week, someone creates a base where you were? Is there a lock on the doors if you're stuck in? Does that? Oh, that's kind of funny. That's a funny question. Yeah, I don't really know. You know what's funny enough though? When I first logged in to like set up for the stream, like, you know, 15 minutes ago, my character spawned. I was standing on a grassy patch right underneath this building, and the building was, I was just inside of the building. So I have to imagine they have some sort of systems where if you're clipped like under terrain or under player construction, it will like phase you through or something. That would be my guess anyways. Isn't this game just new Ark? No, this is this not related at all to Ark. Pax Dei is a different studio. You're thinking of Ark, which is like a way different thing. No, but this is a survival crafting MMO. Pretty huge from what I've seen in the limited space that we have right now. So what I'm gonna do really quick is I am actually gonna run to see if I can, if my old base is still there, because we did have some gear in storage. I was really hoping I could just find my corpse, but I don't think that's happening. It's been too long. I think it might have despawned or whatever. Because I played a few days ago just to get my bearings before I did the stream here. Okay, so we're gonna run. So what I want to do for the stream is I just want to show you. I don't know too much. I've only really played a few hours so far. So I'm just gonna go through the process of learning and seeing stuff with you, basically. That's the basic idea. But the core premise of the game, essentially, is you've got safe haven areas, which are all about building, you know, gathering, crafting, building bases, yes, but also building up your character, you know, getting armor, and they've got like layers of the armor as well. There's like a cloth layer. They've got like layering that happens, right? So there's like there's cloth under layers, and then you've got armor on top, and then you can see you've got like jewelry slots and everything. There's slots for like pants, and then the armor that goes on top of it as well. So, you know, you're in these safe areas, you do like the whole gathering and crafting thing, so you run around, you pick up twigs and sticks, and you pick up various herbs, and herbs will provide different, like, boost and anything like that, you know, like regeneration or increasing your max stamina or health or whatever. I need to go, I actually want to go, I want to go due north. I don't know if I can go around that way, so I'm just gonna wrap around, up and around. I'm trying to get right over here. Oh, there is a marker. Okay. There we go. Wait, there it is. Okay. So I'm gonna head over there, because that is where we built our base a few days ago, and I just want to see, if it's still there. I've got so many questions right now. Is it still there? If it's still there, is the equipment that we put in storage still there? I'll just pick up some stuff along the way. And after I check that, and also while we're going there, hopefully we see more base building, because what we started out seeing actually blows my mind. Like, when I played with my buddy, over the course of like 2 to 3 hours, we had like this, and then like a 4x4 home. so seeing that massive construction, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Thoughts on the direction so far for an alpha in general? Well, it's clearly very early on right now. I mean, I can say that. Like, the combat at the moment is ultra bare bones. And by ultra bare bones, I mean, I'll try to revive them. I don't know if they're here. Oh, can I actually not? Oh yeah, I can. So I do like this little hand wavy thing, and then it sends a. Dude, these are just corpses from people who fell off the cliff. I'll send them revives. We'll see what happens. So for one, I want to say that when they released the alpha, they released like notes that were basically saying, okay, here's what to expect. Like, here's what's in this. Here's what there is to do. And it was like 5 bullet points, and it all more or less summarized to gather, craft, and build. Like, combat wasn't even one of the things. And I know why, because to your question about like the current state, combat is like it's just like it's a placeholder right now. From what's in here right now, it's clearly a placeholder. When I get my stuff and we'll go out, because I know of a few combat areas. There's like basically a few encampments. I'll show you, but it's like literally just left clicking right now, and it's not even like really chain combos. Get my tea here. It's like left click basic attack. No block, no dodge, no parry. Like it's very placeholder, as I said, and as they have said. They've said as much that it's a placeholder system. So that should give you a better idea of like where they're at in development, and that is far from release. Like we've got some time, but it's still up on Steam, and you can check it out. Again, this is a sponsored stream. They wanted me to stream it to you guys. And I'm like, dude, yeah, because this is one of those games. It's like one of the many large list of games that I'm always keeping an eye on, like what's on the horizon, what's coming out next, especially for MMOs. So. What about spells? There are spells. There's a whole spell system. Combat currently is you can equip a weapon, swing it, and hit an enemy, which loses HP. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Like it's very rudimentary. But again, this is like they've stated as much. They've said it's placeholder. They've said they've got a ways to go with combat. They're planning a whole overhaul before it even gets anywhere close to launch. And once more, this is an alpha, so alpha, beta, then release. I don't even know if they have the target release window. I'm not sure if it was for 2024. It might say on the Steam page. I'm just curious myself. I did believe in the past it was 2024, but it's I just see actually all I see is coming soon on here for the current state of it. All right, I'm gonna close this one. What is the gimmick of this game compared to, say, Ark or Okay. So this is what I was trying to explain. I get so sidetracked. This is what I was trying to explain earlier. So the general gist of the game is it's broken up into these regions that are more or less, if we boil them down, they're like safe areas and dangerous areas. And it's supposed to be one of those games that is you're going out to explore the dangerous areas, but you can only be there for so long, whether or not, because you're limited on healing or whatever other resources. The game does have like survival mechanics. There's food that will provide you buffs to your health and stamina. But the crafting areas are like safe, right? So you're in these areas and you're safe. And then there are, and I don't know actually where they are on the map, or even, I'm guessing they're not even on this map, but it'll be that you venture out from the safe areas once you're equipped, once you have gear, and you kind of push out into the dangerous areas. And what's interesting is in the safe areas, there's no PvP, none of that, but there is in the dangerous areas. There will be some form of like player killing in those areas, PK. Oh, let's check out this house. So again, someone built this. This isn't like put in here by the developers. Every single home-like structure, any house or town establishment, it was player built. That was player built. There's no pre-established cities. There's no like NPC cities. That's not a thing. So all of this stuff was put up by players. And from what I've seen, you can basically put it within the buildable regions, which as far as I'm aware is like this whole thing. You can put down a plot wherever. Like me and my buddy we picked a little spot in the valley down there and we just threw a plot down. There was like no limitations. I'm sure there are some areas that you can't do it, but. Okay. So they got a bunch of storage. They've got all their tiers of there's like multiple tiers of every of things. So there's like multiple blacksmith tier stations, multiple toolsmith, armors. There's the basic, and then there's just the regular, and then I'm sure the tiers continue. And then, you know, they've got the basic like crafting game thing of different materials for different types of. So you get the stone walls and whatever, the wood walls, and this is a pretty cool looking one. It just needs some lights in here, right? Throw a couple torches in there. Breaking and enter home. Can't build on top of dungeon entrances and such. Okay, there you go. They say anything about hub areas? Kind of a must-have for MMO, in my opinion. Leaving it to the players is a bit of a bet. Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, it is. But no, from what I recall, when they were talking about this game, and I covered it like some months ago in a video, sometime after it was revealed. I've made like 1 or 2 videos on this game so far. It's all player generated. This is a true sandbox community driven MMO. There is PvE in like AI enemies. So in the region that I am right now, there's like foxes, and there are some basic like I don't know. We'll get to them. There's basically some tiny little forts here that have like just like basic knight enemies, archers, a couple of mages and stuff. But no NPC quest givers, no NPC towns. I think our home was between these 2 areas. Now I swear I put down a darn marker and then it just like vanished. Oh, that's my house, I think. Yeah, that's our house. That's our house. Now, I need to warn you, okay? We've seen some very impressive buildings thus far as we have walked here to my abode. I'm a simple man. And I've got a very simple home. There's not a lot here, okay? There's not a lot here. But you know what? I put a lot of work into it. Honestly, it took freaking forever. That's actually probably one of my biggest early criticisms right now, is the amount of time it takes to even get the basics going. Like, to even put up a basic wall, you need like several types of wood resources. So you take the wood. I'll just show you. I don't need to tell you. I'll just show you. Show don't tell, right? Okay, so here's the backup gear that we had. Now, I believe we had some backup weaponry, but if not, I can go ahead and craft it. Got myself a nice little hat. Got myself some boots. Okay. I just have to remind myself because it's been a few days since I don't know. You know what? The reeds and the flints. I have a plant box here somewhere. There we go. I'll put the reeds in this one. The flint, I've got a stone and ore one, and I'll pull some of these out because I'll use these to make my basic weapons. Since I seem to not have. I thought we had a backup weapon container, but I might be wrong. Bunch of different like gemstones and stuff to make different things. Oh, you know what? Actually, I did the YouTube. I did the YouTube thing. I did the thing where I like there's a checkbox that puts like a pop-up when you have a sponsored thing, but I was like, I guess I just want to throw it in the description so no one's confused. And then yeah, if you guys are interested in it, check out the Pax Dei website. Wishlisted on Steam if you want. All things that don't cost anything. My favorite kind. I'm gonna tell you if I'm gonna tell you guys to do anything, do things that are free. This is not an MMO in my eyes. Well, it's a community survival sandbox MMO. So they do have PvE things. They've got caves and dungeons and things for you to go in, and there's loot to go after. They've got spells and stuff. If you check out the bottom right, there's a whole tab for spells. Now, I've not unlocked any spells yet. I believe someone said earlier that there are spells on certain pieces of gear. I have not gotten that yet. Here's my construction hammer, so I can show you guys some of the basic building. And I don't know if we had any spare weapons in storage, because I did have we had like bows and like some higher tier axes and stuff, but I think I've just lost that. And again, I can't seem to find my corpse anywhere, so. All right, so that's fine. We will just make some stuff then. Craft. So I can do the one-handed stone axe. This will be our basic weapon. I'll put that there. And I'm curious if I don't believe I wasn't able to make any of the other stuff before. What do I need for this? Got iron axe head. I just don't have the resources to make a lot of these things. But we did set up all the tables to at least get started. I was able to get a bow on doing some of the PvE as well as some armor. I think I might just go for it. I think I might just go for those, back to those camps and see if we can just get it back. Does it have any potential of raiding other clans or waiting to take their loot? So I do know from, and this is something, maybe it changes in development, maybe it's already changed, but I do remember early on they were saying that the areas where people are doing the base building, there is no PvP, but it's when you venture out. So think of it like you've got these spots that are safe havens, and then all around them are these danger areas. And then in the danger areas, there'll be more PvE, more difficult PvE. You'll have dungeons and caverns and camps to raid, but then PvP will also happen there. But at least early on, I'm pretty sure they were saying there was no like destroying people's constructions, but there was PvPing within those certain spots. That was my understanding. All right, I've aggroed these guys. So, we said it earlier, and I'll just reiterate it here. They have said that the combat is placeholder, and, well, it's pretty... I'm pretty sure I saw a keybind for block, but it's not like I can't do it yet. I'm guessing I need a shield or something first. I don't frickin' know. Okay, these guys are... bow guys. I'm gonna try to just frickin' smash them. So combat is well, it's pretty rough, but that's just where it is right now. They plan on replacing it. Not beta, alpha. Yes, it's alpha. Did I say beta? If I did, I'm sorry. It's an alpha test. So yeah, that's the that's the combat. That's the combat right now. Not much to say about it. Not much going on. Pretty darn... Don't show it again. we don't want to see it. You know what this actually reminds me of a bit? I thought this as I was going through playing earlier. It actually reminds me a bit of, if any of you played EverQuest Next Landmark, when that first came out, it was all like all you could do was gather and build. And that is that's where it is right now. That's where it is in this current test. So gathering for trees at least is a 2-tier thing. You chop down the tree and then you chop the tree in bits. It's got this nice little progression that is reminiscent to me of New World. They had something along these lines. The yellow circle, and then it ticks and like kind of progresses in these little intervals. A bunch of these trees are like high level for me. Yeah. And then once you bust up the after the tree is felled, once you bust up the second tier, then yes, it just picks up everything there. Stamina right now is also one of my bigger criticisms. Like, running out of stamina after 2 successful tree chops is I think way too aggressive. I feel like they need to make it not that way. I don't know. I should be able to chop down at least like 4 trees before I need to sit and wait for my stamina to replenish. And I'm fine with stamina systems, but it feels a bit aggressive for me to have to stop after 2 successive trees. It's like 2 or 3 usually. Now there are buffs, there are like berries, and I actually don't know, I wasn't able to tell. I couldn't find a spot where I could see like, hey, what exactly does this do? But I know that right above the health bar, there are these little indicators, and I haven't found any since we started it up again here for the stream. But you'll find mushrooms and berries, and you'll get food, like meats from the animals that you kill. Alright, so this is, again, watch, 2 trees in a row. And I'm gonna run out before I finish this. Or maybe not, because it's a smaller tree. The different size trees require different amounts of swings. But even that just like barely made it. Can you show the graphic settings right now? I believe I am maxed. Whoops. Let's take a look. Overall quality high. Yeah, so even this, I mean, this is another testament to it's alpha. So they're even very limited. I presume they will have more and more detailed. More and more detailed. But let's take off for DLSS, let's put on quality. Let's take off balance. So this should make it look a little bit better at cost of performance. You know, one of the things that I was actually very impressed by of this early stage of alpha test is being able to see the buildings in a distance. Like, something as simple as this, I think, is really cool. So the fact that I can see that far, I can see this far off into the distance, and I can actually see the structure, right? I can see details in it. I can see the type of walls, I can see the windows, I can see these pillars, I can see all this stuff at that draw distance, and the fact that that's all player built. Like, that's cool to me. I think that's really cool. That's the scale, that's really what I'm trying to say. The scale and kind of the immersion that comes with being able to see this shit off in a distance is pretty neat to me. And you know what it does? It makes those moments, though, because I kind of feel this right now, right? Like, I see that right there, and I'm like, the F is that? You guys see, like, this right here on my crosshair? It's kind of hard to see the crosshair. It's just a little bit gray, but that looks like a castle that someone's trying to build right now. Is there fall damage? Yes. Okay. Oh, shit. That looks like a bunch of clay. The fall damage is actually really aggressive right now. Like, it doesn't take much of a distance for you to fall before you're kaput. All right, I'm going to go do some combat. I want to see if I can get... Because before we had a bunch of bows and shit. And I've lost all of that because I died. And my corpse, like I said, seemingly vanished. Wait, why do I have these in my bag? What in the heck? Oh, those came from killing those NPCs earlier. Those came from killing those other NPCs. Put some of this in here. We get way too much of this shit. I don't know what it's for, so I end up dropping it. Oh, I'm gonna move DLSS back again, by the way, because I don't want... Let's try just performance mode. Actually doesn't even look... I mean, it's more of like the lighting quality and stuff that changes a bit, right? So we're gonna drop this stuff, and I'm gonna put these things... I feel like I already need a ton more freaking storage. And you know what else I do need? I need to make some food and find some mushrooms and shit. Let me go kill some... Alright, here's my order of operations. I'm gonna kill some wolves. I'm gonna get some food. Maybe I find some berries and other consumables to eat. If not, once I have some food, some meat from the wolves, I'm gonna cook it. And that's gonna give me a max HP buff. And then I'm gonna go to those camps and try to clear those out, because those were really great sources from what I saw for gear. They drop bows, they drop a bunch of like gemstones and shit. So I just need to find those wolves from before. Somewhere out in the fields here. And then after we clear some camps, hopefully I get some gear. I'd like to just do some more exploring the bases just to see like what people have built. This looks like a survival game. Yeah, it's like survival crafting sandbox MMO. Alright, I hear the wolves. There he is. Rip. I get exactly 0 meat from that. So we'll look for some more. Oh shit! What the frickin'... The hell? Bitrate, 5K I think it is. And no, the on my end it's not blocky. Yeah, foliage density will absolutely do that. That is 100% true. When you have high foliage density and then you swivel the camera, that can result in some blockiness. For sure. It's like the same with snow, right? Like a lot of games, if you got a ton of snow and particle effects and stuff. Game looking good on your end. I would say for an alpha visually, and actually I'm glad you guys brought that up. Because I would say for an alpha, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. But also that this is, besides like the draw distance stuff that I mentioned earlier, I would also say that one of the things that I thought was really neat was the density of shit. Like, there's so much grass and brush and trees everywhere, and like all this stuff is really tightly packed together. And the fact that it runs fairly smoothly, again, especially for an alpha, not too shabby. I've played way worse running games that didn't have this level of environmental density of objects and stuff, and that weren't alphas. So... Alright, I can't seem to find any wolves, so I'm not gonna bother. We'll just go... let's just do some exploring. and I want to kill some of the enemies to get some gear and stuff. So all around the fields that I'm in right now are a bunch of enemy encampments, like this one straight ahead of me. So let's go check it out. And I kind of just, you know what I actually really want to do? I kind of just want to explore. Can I still place down a plot? No, I already have. Because I wanted to see if I could just throw down some stuff on the go. So that seems like that's one of the limitations, is that you're only able to build inside of a plot that you have. You know something I'd like to see? Why not use this as a venue for something like that? Feedback, right? I would love, we can have like our main base plots, but I would love small camps to be a thing. So you can place down, say, a campfire to do some cooking. But maybe that's like against their design philosophy of trying to make it so that you have to prepare before going out, and that when you're out, you'll be limited on resources and stuff. You know, maybe that's just a thing. Okay, so here's the combat. That guy had nothing? Rip? Is there PvP in this game? Yeah, there will be once, like, but not in this alpha, because this alpha is contained to a safe region. Now these guys put down a fire ring, and then when you stand in it, you get a stacking debuff. And if that fills up, I think I just take fire damage over time, is what happens. I like how you spam left click over and over again. That is the extent of the combat right now. I'm almost surprised that they even put this in here, because they went as far as to say that the combat is only placeholder. And it's also not the focus of this test. So for that reason, because the combat is what it is, not great, but it's the alpha temporary placeholder combat. I'm surprised they put camps of enemies in, and they just didn't say there's no enemies, okay, because you don't want to see the combat. And just gather and build. I'm almost surprised that that's not what they went with, but because again, it's the same as it reminds me of the early days of EverQuest Next Landmark. Some resources only come from combat. So I was wondering that, because it did seem like these NPCs dropped like a bunch of these different gems and all sorts of stuff. I think I was also getting a bunch of berries from these enemies. Oh, here's a corpse player tombstone. The body zooping out of the void is hilarious. Yeah, you know what's funny too? They don't even just disappear. They like phase through the ground, and they like shrink simultaneously. So it creates this really funny like this freaking vortex effect to it. Shit. I almost want to go to the caves, but I definitely need more going on first. I definitely need more. Like, I need to get my buff stuff. Maybe I should just... Hush, Shiza. Alright, who's coming? The bow guys are actually... Shit! I really want some of those food buffs. I'm actually slightly tilted that I... Well, you know what I'm most tilted by? That my corpse seems to have disappeared. Because I swear it was like... around here somewhere. I like fell off the cliff. Because I had a bunch of food and stuff on me. Only a fool brings a hatchet to a bow fight, right? I know. Well, these guys will drop their stuff if these guys drop bows and all sorts of stuff, but not yet. I've been kind of getting kind of unlucky with the drops. Oh god, come on, come on, one more. Get the F out. Okay, good. You know, did he do no damage to me? I swear I was like, oh, no, fuck, nothing. I'm just not getting what I need here. Is it an early access or has it been released? This? No, this is alpha. This isn't anywhere near releasing anything. This is a very, very early alpha test. I'm pretty sure it's invite only as well. I'm seeing so many tombstones around this base. It's kind of hilarious. Enemy pathing's also a bit scuffed. Does he have a bow? Looks like he's... I want him to swing and then I want to engage. Oh yeah. He's doing some buff thing. Please. God, dude, I've got... I'm just getting jack squat here on these drops. For anyone just tuning in to the stream, this is Pax Dei. This is an early alpha test of an upcoming Sandbox Survival MMO. Right now, it is a very, very bare bones, basic. They've got just some basic crafting, and I can't dodge that. Freaking! You kidding me? Oh no! Dear, oh Jesus! Okay, guess we're done doing this right now. Pax Dei, it's a survival sandbox MMO in development. Alpha testing right now, which is what we're checking out. If you guys want to learn more, there are links below to the website, to the Steam page for wish listing if you want to keep a track of the game. I cannot believe aimbot freaking fireballs. I've never been more tilted. All right, let's see. Let's see what I can craft. I want to take a look here. I really just want to do some exploring, but I feel like I need to get at least the basics going here before we can do that. I already have that. I don't need a torch. Can I make like any of this stuff is what I'm wondering. I don't need to do that. I could make the pickaxe for the heck of it. It's only for mining the like ore, like the iron ore. But let's just make it to show it to you guys. So we're gonna grab some of this. We're gonna grab some wood. And then we're gonna go over here and turn that wood into, I need long rough wood stock, okay? So we go here and there's like all these different processing things. And this is actually probably one of my early critiques that I hope they consider. I'd really like them to streamline some of the early base crafting at least, because for a base, let me show you. So if I want to build a wall, right? If I want to build a cottage doorway, well, I need reeds. That's a bad example. I don't even know if I have the reeds for it. I can actually check because I do have reeds. Do I have 22 reeds? Where are they? Hello? No, I only have 12. Okay. So whatever. So I won't build the one that hasn't open. But even that, like, every single thing has like multiple tiers of requirements. So like this doorway, I need the rough wood beams and then I need 22 reeds. So in order to make the rough wood beams, I need to come over here. I need to take the wood that I get from chopping a tree, which is the beech sapwood, and I need to process it here. So when it's just the beams, not actually a big deal. But then if I want to build like a roof, what I need to do is, it's not like it takes more or less beams. I need to do beams and then also do planks. And I think the roof also needs pegs. And so there's like, for at least for me, for like the tier 1 house, right? I understand once you're getting into like stone or stronger woods or all these different things, make that more complicated, make that, yeah, require different tiers of resources, make that even require multiple different resources. But for the very basic of me just putting down a wooden floor, walls, and roof, make it simple and straightforward, right? And for right now, I feel like it's just a little bit too. So I can do the basic walls with just the beams. But then if I want to put the roof on it, let me go check what it was. Yeah, I need the beams. I need to turn some of those beams into planks. So I need to take the base wood, transfer it into beams, then transfer those beams into planks, and then make sure I've got enough of the wood and enough of the planks. And then I also need to get some rocks. And there was some more of these that also required wooden pegs. So then what you have to do for that is you have to take the base wood, turn it into beams, you need to take the base wood, turn it into beams. Some of those beams you will change into planks, but then some of those beams you need to save to turn into pegs. And then for this one, I also need reed. The problem with reed is it seems like it's only, like a lot of these, like you expect, a lot of the resources will only be in particular areas or whatever, right? I've only seen reed by the water. Well, right now, that water is on a cliff. So if I try to go to that, so like, for basically right now, for me to get reeds, I can't go down here because if I try to go down the cliff, I'm just gonna die. I need to walk all the way back and wrap all the way around and then go along the water and try to get some reeds. But then I can't like just take those reeds and just like build anywhere because I can only build my plots. And I gotta walk all the way back. And so that it's just a lot for just like the really starting basic stuff. And I really hope that they consider, at least for the baseline of making it a little less involved to get started. It's fine if it's crazy and involved as you move up tiers. Like if I want to build a freaking castle, make that difficult, right? That's fine. But for the really, really simple starter stuff, I just wish it was a little simpler, to put it simply. To put it simply, yeah. All right. Now, unfortunately, I screwed myself because I think what I needed to make was the long rough wood stalk. So I do have some more wood here, though. So we'll just pull this out. And then we'll make a long rough wood stalk. We'll craft one. So people don't have to do all the crafting if they don't. Oh yeah, of course, nobody has to. No one has to do anything, but I was just surprised by how much effort was required to even just put up a bare bone basic like 4x4 house with a roof. That's really what it comes down to. But like you said, maybe other players do other things. That was just like my initial gut reaction to it. I was like, man, this is really, really involved to just get started. Some people are saying maybe it's because they want soloing to be difficult. That's a possibility as well, yeah. Maybe they're trying to tailor it to large groups or whatever. I think what makes the most sense, I don't even go, I still think what I'm saying is probably the best way to approach it. Like even if we're saying, okay, we want like it to not be solo easy, I think that's fine too. But maybe solo players should at least be able to get started with the tier 1 of stuff, somewhat relatively easily. Because I kid you not, it was 3 hours, I think, total. The culmination of 3 hours of gathering, exploring, and crafting is this right here. 2 of us, too. It was 2 of us. So, like, I don't know. I feel like after 3 hours, maybe it's, you know, whatever. Games can progress in different ways. And I might be just coming off the back of other survival games that the progression was a little quicker than that. But that was just my, and you know what, too? This is an alpha. So, right, part of the alpha process is them having people check out the game and say what they think and give feedback, presumably, right? So. All right, I'm gonna go and clear this camp right here. This camp is a little bit easier than the other one that I was at. And hopefully I can actually get some shit this time. I'm hoping these NPCs can drop gear. They can drop weapons. We've had several bows drop. They can drop potions as well. There's like health potions. Oh, we got another player coming up here too. Did you craft the helmet? It was from loot. I have not progressed like my forges and all that shit enough to be able to craft any of the real gear. But that's also what I'm saying. Like, it took 3 hours just to get like the stations up. I'm nowhere near smelting all the iron and turning all that shit into other shit, and nowhere near it. Great. This is great. I'm gonna try to like avoid being around this guy because he just looted that shit. So you have fun. I don't want to lose all the loot. Dude, someone built stairs here? Oh my! Bruh. Well, I told you guys fall damage is pretty aggressive. You got a clear display of it. Rip shiny helmet. I can go and loot it. My corpse is still there. That guy can't loot my body. Or at least I hope not, because I couldn't even loot my friend's body to bring his gear back to him. So if other players can loot your body, rip. He can't loot you? Good. I thought so. Once again, guys, this is a sponsored stream as I'm checking out Pax Dei. If you guys are interested, you can give the game a look. Links below to their website, to Steam if you'd like to wishlist just to keep track of it as it goes through development. Currently in alpha testing, still a ways away from development. A lot of placeholder things, including the combat, as you guys have seen, is quite simple. And we're here to check it out and test it and give feedback. God, why am I listening to the combat sounds? I'm just here to retrieve my items. Okay, this is something. All right, let's put this stuff back on. Can you open the map? Yep. So we are in one region right now, and when you pick a character, you basically choose from several regions, and then you also choose the part of it to spawn in. From my understanding, the final game will be bunches and bunches of regions filled up of different biomes and stuff all stitched together. And the thing that I am most interested in seeing, which we can't right now, it's not in the game, but I'm interested in seeing the distinction between the safe zones and the like crafting and the exploration danger areas, because I think that's probably going to be the most interesting thing. Wow, dude, somebody like went through hell and high water to get up the side of this mountain. It's actually kind of cool. Did they bring it all the way down? Oh, there's some play race. You know what? I'm gonna do some exploring now. Yeah, we're about an hour in. I'm just gonna go do some exploring instead of just hanging out around my base. Let's go down here. Let's check out some of those player bases. There will be a safe zone. Yeah, everyone starts in the safe zone. So you start in the safe zone. That's where you gather craft, you build a base, you gear up, and then you push out into the danger zones where there's more deadly PvE, where there are bosses, where there are dungeons, and where PvP can take place. That's the kind of basic template of it all. The most... Oh, no. I'd say the fall damage feels a little heavy-handed right now. I think they could tune back. I think they could tune that back a little bit. Hey, we're getting down the mountain here. Looks like someone built a, or is getting started on building a fairly large building. This absolutely cracks me up, by the way, that people just like put this mountain scaling thing in the side here. I actually love this. I'll be honest with you. Like, someone went through the effort. That's really cool to me, actually. Whoa. God, I'm hoping I'm not gonna... I could die right here if I just like... If I approach walking off this rock the wrong way. There we go. See what I'm talking about? Somebody died. Right here. Sent out a revive invite. I thought you couldn't build out your base. Yeah, I did too. That's why I'm actually confused. Apparently certain things you can. All they did was waste an enormous amount of resources. I mean, this is helpful. Like, being able to get up the side of this mountain rather than... Because otherwise you have to walk all the way around. Like, otherwise to get to these encampments here, you need to walk all the way around and up here. And that's no, like, that's no small feat. Let's check out some of these builds here. I want to see some of what people put together. So it looks like this is just, I mean, they're not too worried about shielding from the elements. They've just got a pretty basic production line here. All the crafting stations, which I do believe if I have the resources, I can just use crafting stations. Although maybe people can set stuff to private, but they don't appear to be. I don't see anything that indicates a privacy setting. So if I had the resources, I could just use these crafting stations. I know chest can be set to private. They are by default. And then you can open it to, like, I think you can open a chest. I know you can open a chest from private to clan. I think you can even make a public chest. So if you wanted to have a chest with stuff that other people could pull from, you could. Is it more like a survival game than an MMO? So it's supposed to be both. It's supposed to be a blending of both, but it's definitely heavy survival. And one thing to keep in mind that really emphasizes that is the fact that there are no friendly NPCs. There are no quest givers in this game. There are no pre-established NPC cities. Everything is player constructed. Now there are enemy NPCs, there are creatures to fight, there are bosses. There'll be like wisps and zombies and skeletons and all stuff like that. And there are quests, they're just not given by like NPCs that chat with you, right? So it probably leans more into what people expect from a survival game than it does an MMO. But a lot of the MMO elements, unfortunately, are things we're not even going to see in this build because this build is restricted to the building and crafting part of this game. It's the stuff outside of that, and once they overhaul the combat, I'm looking forward to checking that out big time. The other day there was a base getting started over here. I want to go take a look at it because it looks like it's been built out more. Yeah, look at that. What do you guys mean when you say sandbox? So, usually sandbox refers to the ability for players to interact with the world in a less restricted way. So, like, a game like WoW is a theme park MMO because there's very little agency you have over the world, right? But unless you do a quest that, like, phases an area that, like, oh, you saved a town so it's not burning anymore, shit like that, right? Sandbox means it's a playground, like a sandbox, and players can do a lot with it. To that vein, all these buildings you see right here, players put them there. Prior to that, this hill was just a sloped hill with all this greenery on it, so everything you see here just extended over there. But then a player came over here, they put down a plot, and they built this up. So all of these houses, all of these, every single structure you see was built by a player. That's like the sandboxy nature to it. I want to go check out... I guess I should just hop in all of these. I was right next to that one. Let's go into this one. I'll check up the one on the hill. And then I want to look at that big one, because that one's really built. I'm guessing it has, like, it seems like a lot of these people have really done a good job of getting all of the storage stuff going. all of the crafting stations. Like, you know what I feel like I should do? I should just... I feel like I should just set up a base outside of someone who's got all of the high tier stuff and then just use their shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'll have my own storage, I'll do my own crafting, but I don't need to build all my own tables and all my own production facilities. Especially if I could use, like, someone else's freaking smelting and stuff. That's a really cool house, too. Looks like someone just built a basic one here. You got a tanning racks. And then you'll take the leathers, whatever, do the tanning thing, and then you can get some leather-based armor and stuff, which actually, does this guy have a leather working station? Tailoring, leather working table? Yeah, so with this you can make yourself, it looks like just a hat right now. I'm assuming you can't knock down player structures. No, there's no, like, raiding of enemy players' structures. That's not going to be a thing. At least not in the safe regions. And in early interviews, I remember them saying there wouldn't be any at all because in, like, the danger areas where PvP is enabled, you can't build there, so. There's, like, two separate facets to the game. The gathering and crafting, gearing up, and all that stuff, and then the adventuring and the PvP in the other regions. But we're not going to see that today because it's not part of this alpha build. This alpha build was focused strictly on gathering and crafting. Building is too much early on. Should be sticks and boards to build the basic houses. Yeah, so Pete, I was actually talking about that earlier in the stream. Like, I'm fine with building being very, very involved and complicated and requiring a lot of time or different resources as you progress to the higher tiers, but I do feel for the baseline structure for, like, the tier 1 building, just to get a basic walls and a roof, I feel like it should be, you should be able to, like, put up something within a couple hours pretty simply. It doesn't need to be like this, right? Like, obviously this took, like, a group coordinated effort, lots of time. But for the solo players, let them build a relatively simple hut without it taking too excessive amount of times. That would be my suggestion. Tier 3 kiln? Okay. So it takes the beech wood, turns it into charcoal. What is this? Spinning wheel? Okay. And then a weaving loom. Also funny, some of this stuff is locked. So like I can use their spinning wheel, but I can't use their weaving loom. But I can use their tailoring table. I can use the leatherworking thing. Can I use the tanning rack? No. Interesting. Well, it looks like I can use like a good chunk of it. This is really, I'll be honest, dude, this is really sick looking. This is really cool looking. I can't imagine the amount of time it would take one player to do this, but for a group anyways, like them putting this together is pretty impressive. Oh, hello. Here we go. Oh yeah, Sebastian, I am. I'm pumped. Looking forward to it. Just a couple of weeks. That's really neat. All right, I want to see if I can just make a new character and start constructing, because I don't have the ability to place a plot right now. And I don't know why. Oh, look, look, look. Okay, cool. Now that I'm in plot mode, here you go, guys. So now that I'm in plot mode, you can see other players' plots. See it? So all those little areas, which I think, are they circular or are they square? It looks like they're squared off. Yeah? Yeah, they're squared off. And actually, let me drop this and zoom out, and then do it. Yeah. So these are all the plots other people have claimed. Anywhere where there's not a claim plot, I could place down mine, but it does seem like I already have a plot. So I can't place a new one right now. I kind of want to make a new character on a fresh server, one that's not this, just to check it out. And check out what other buildings. Look at this thing, dude. Oh, it's a church. I don't think so, Diablo. No, private server, because it... I know it just looks like a survival game right now, but once it's fully featured and fleshed out, it's gonna have more MMO focus elements. And there's no... As far as I know, they have no intention to do private servers. I could be wrong, but I've not heard anything about private servers. You can unclaim and move your plot. Yeah, the problem is I don't know where my plot is. That's the problem. The base that I had, my buddy put down, and we're in a guild together. And I don't actually even remember putting down a plot. There's like no marker for it. I have no idea. All right. I'm gonna boot it back up, and I'm gonna make a new character. The running and walking looks floaty. It's still very in early development. The combat isn't even... The combat in the game right now is even just placeholder. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to be done. It's very early days. This is a closed alpha test. It's invite only as well. It's not even like you can sign up for it. But if you're curious about the game, links below to the website and Steam page. You can just keep a track of it as it goes through development, but it's still got a ways to go. That is for certain. And I'm going to make a new character. And I want to do one that I haven't done yet. I'm going to go to just one of these mediums. So you can see they've got 4 different maps basically right now. There's Mary, which is the one that I was on. There's Kers, Ancien, and Iniscalia. This is kind of cool. This one's got like a lot of waterways. So I'm going to do this, and we're going to go to Dolavan. Okay. Combat looks rough. Yeah, no, it's not, it's placeholder. It's not, it's literally going to be entirely replaced from what we've heard. It's only, from what I gather, it's only there for the sake of having something there rather than nothing there. But combat is something they're going to be working on later in development. Right now, they're focused on the gathering, crafting stuff. All right. So first time you pick up resources, as you see, you get a little pop-up with all the recipes. Starting off with stone and sticks, and then once I have a stick, I can make my first axe. This was actually the first time around one of the harder things is just like finding sticks. Oh, there's one. Perfect. Okay. So now that I have stone and sticks, I can make, son of a, I need one more stick. I think we can look around trees as the branches. There we go. Now that I have that, I can make my starter axe. And then with the axe, I can start chopping down trees. Probably not this one. I'm guessing this is too big. Yep. I need to find some medium-sized trees. I'm also going to kill the deer because the meat will let me make food for health regeneration. Or actually, I don't even know if it does regeneration. I do know it increases your max health, though. Scheiße. Come here. Bitte. Come on. Son of a... Let's try this again. Yep. There, we got it. And, wee little rabbit. German, yeah, ein bisschen. A little bit. Sounds like you're describing playing Minecraft. I mean, yeah, that's like survival games, right? It's all spin-off of Minecraft. I would try to make a bow ASAP. So the easiest way I found to get a bow was actually by killing those camps of enemies. I couldn't, for the life of me, get the materials to make a bow. I can try though. Are you kidding me? This one is too hard for me? It's the size of my wrist. Did I pick a character with half of a strength? I need to go to some more densely populated woods. This is ridiculous. They're all the same type of tree wood? No, there's tiers. There's tiers because there's trees you can't hack at. But when I started playing on the other server, like all the trees in the area that I started at were able to be chopped. Or are you saying it's the type of tree, like it's a beech tree versus a sap or whatever? The wood type, right. So did I just pick a shit starting zone for myself? Am I gonna be like all amongst tier 2 trees and I can't do anything with it? Great, perfect. Lucky me. Well, at least there's a lot of deer. I just can't build a fire to cook them. I need to look for the pine trees. You mean the ones that aren't around me? There we go, over there. I doubt this is a consumable. It's probably for, yeah. Okay. Let's head over here. Got a bunch of pines over there. And also, I want to head towards... Oh, here we go. So, these should all be enemy camps. So, I kind of want to head to those. Are there going to be pines in that direction? I don't know. It looks like it's fieldy. Yeah, that's fieldy. This is those. I'm pretty sure those are pine indicators. I'll just start with, I'll start by chopping a bunch of the pine. We'll go through the basics, starting tier of crafting, show you guys what it's like. Just gonna let my stamina regen. This is probably one of my biggest early bits of feedback is, bruh. That needs to not be so annoying to start. Like that, I feel like stamina should regen a little quicker. Especially considering you run out of stamina after 2 tree chops if they're back to back. Can you show the settings and options? They're pretty much non-existent in this build right now. There's almost nothing in there. That's all of it. Overall quality, motion blur, VSync, DLSS selection. I'll put it on quality for a bit. I'm on the highest setting with quality DLSS. Frankly, doesn't look terribly different from the performance DLSS, just better like lighting and shadow. Weird res. Yeah, I'm on an ultra wide monitor, so I have to force a 16:9 resolution on the ultra wide, you know? So it's a windowed. No key binding. No, guys, this is as an alpha, this is pretty bare bones. Yes, there's no key binding. There's hardly anything. I think it's safe to presume all that stuff will come throughout the course of development, but it's like very, very bare bone right now in a lot of those things, a lot of those features. Very early alpha, correct. Hey, at least you can turn motion blur off. I know, right? Exactly. Thank goodness. Alright. I'm gonna just gather a bunch of wood. And then I think I want to maybe head to the enemy camps after that. I really want there to be... There's like a ton of these right here. Which I think is cool, but... I could head to these ones and see what these are, because I actually don't know. Yeah, screw it. Let's do it. Does that have a release date? Nope. Nope. I'm not even certain if they have a release window. For some reason, I thought it was 2024, but it, double checking the Steam page, it just says, it says nothing. So... But given that it's in alpha, I would not presume a 2024 release date, unless it's an early access release for a beta version of the game. Is there magic in the game? Yes, there is. There's a whole system of magic. I believe it's like low fantasy magic, though. Some of the enemies we came up against in the camps that we were at earlier were throwing like fireballs at me. Hey, woodcutting level 2. So kind of like Morrowind style systems, as you do things, you level up in them. In fact, I'll show you guys that really quick. So skills for crafting and combat. I just made this character so everything's 1, but my other character had a bunch of things leveled up in the different tiers. Like woodcutting was, I think I had like woodcutting level 10 and high level mining. Building was a few levels up. I had some pretty high levels, well, high level, whatever. A couple hours worth of upgrades to some combat trees. You do stuff, you get better at doing it. How does combat feel? It's placeholder right now. It's literally just spam left attack. It's, it feels like you're spamming left attack. It's not at all near complete. That's the combat right there. That's the entirety of it. We are supposed to have a block, but I believe I need a shield or something other than a wood axe to actually be able to use it. Yeah, if you're just tuning in or you missed it earlier, this current alpha version of the game is specifically focused on trying and testing out the gathering and crafting. The combat is just placeholder. The block doesn't work even with the shield? Okay, good to know. That's fucking hilarious, by the way, but good to know. Alright, I'm gonna make my way towards these, because I actually don't know what they are. I know that these are indicators for, like, enemy outposts. I'm not sure what these ruin-looking indicators are. I'm gonna just head there, chop trees on the way, and then if they are like enemy base things, I think I'll set up a camp and start building just outside and then go for clearing them. I wouldn't even mind setting up outside of a cave, because the caves are supposed to be interesting from what I know. Crouch? No crouch or anything either. Nope. No. I think the best way to think about this is if any of you ever played EverQuest Next Landmark when that first became playable. Where all you could do was gather, craft, and build bases and like production and refining and crafting stations. That's essentially where they are here, except they also have like, hey, here's some really basic like enemies that you can just smack their health bar away with left click. They just also have that level, but for the most part, this current alpha test is just showing us the gathering and crafting as it sits right now. DLS has an early alpha already. Want to start with a rip? All right. Looks like this is a mountain pass. So in order to get to those, I will have to go up and around. Let's do it. Oh, thank you, Driftwood. Giving out keys. No, no, no. This is just to show it off. Show it off. Get it in front of people. If you guys want to learn more, there are links down low for the website as well as the Steam page. If you want to wishlist it, just to keep an eye on announcements and news and stuff as it goes through the alpha testing and all that. I'll be right back, guys. Just 1 second. All right, hello. I am back. Sorry about that, guys. Like getting over a cold, and I am just so stuffed up. It is miserable. And it's like weird. It's like the more I talk, like the worse it gets. Do higher skill levels give you more better rewards, or does it make it faster, aka more damage? That's a good question. I'm actually not entirely sure. I do know that as I leveled up wood chopping, I was able to then chop higher tiers of wood. But I'm not sure if the speed in which you fell trees, or if like the production side of things, if that speeds up with higher tiers. I'm just not positive. Tool related, could be tool related as well, yeah. Can you bonk things with a rock? You know what? I actually don't believe so. Because you only have like stacks of rocks. Yeah, I can't like equip my rock. So no, doesn't look like it. Where am I going? I need to go, I'm gonna go here and take a left. Is this game just a crafting simulator? The alpha is, the final version of the game will not be. The final version of the game is, there will be a lot of crafting, but it's going to be crafting in service of preparing yourself to go out into like these dangerous wilderness areas. There'll be, you know, fantasy enemies, ghosts, skeletons, zombies, things like that. Bosses, dungeons, all that stuff will be in the game as it progresses through development. But the current stage of development, or at least the current version that we are testing, is just crafting. That is only. And I'll be honest with you, with them lifting the NDA on this, you know, I think having the adventure side of it is more appealing to people who are interested in checking out the game. So I'm almost hoping that by the next time they run another public test like this, that they have that stuff implemented and testable. Because right now, yes, it is just the combat, just the gathering, just the just the gathering crafting is what there is to test. And yeah, people ask about a magic system. You can even see they already have a slot in the bottom right next to inventory. I can cycle between inventory and spells. I just don't, you know, we're on a fresh account here, so I don't have any. But eventually there will be like spells that you can cast. And the spells I've seen fighting enemy NPCs. I've seen like a fireball that someone like launches out at you, a caster. And then I've also seen like a ring of flame. I've seen like a few buff abilities on some NPCs. Uh-oh. I think I've lost connection to the server. Might get a DC here. Oh, we're back. Are there other players in the game with you? Yes, there is. I was playing on a really populated server earlier, where we got to take a look at a bunch of houses and stuff like that. And actually, can I make a... connection drop? See what happens when we try to get back. Just joined with the devs. Devs Mainframe Industries. This is their first game. Pax Dei. Social Sandbox MMO is the exact verbiage they use, wordage they use. Uh-oh. What does this game do differently than say New World or even Albion? So their like final iteration of this game is going to look like you start in an area like we were. It's like a safe area. You go around, gather, you pick up wood, rocks, you build stuff, you get stations going. Maybe I can have to try another server. You build yourself up, you get your equipment, you get your weapons, maybe you learn a couple spells, and then the map consists of bunches and bunches of safe areas surrounded by dangerous areas. And in the dangerous areas, there's no base building, there's no crafting. You're just taking whatever you have equipped yourself with when you leave the safe area, which I believe is called like the Heartlands or something. And you bring it out with you, and you fight bunches of enemies, you do whatever, go into dungeons, try to find bosses, go out and complete quests. And then eventually you'll like run out of your healing resource or, you know, whatever, and you'll need to come back and re-equip yourself and then head back out. That's kind of the general back and forth of it. Looks like servers might be down. I might try just restarting the client. Maybe there's an update that came through or something like that. And also, quite different from both Albion and New World, since those are the games you referenced, is this is an entirely sandbox player-built world. So all of the buildings that you'll see, all of the towns, everything will be constructed by players. There's no, like, pre-established bases and cities and things like that. I'm going to restart just to see. So for your building, is it instanced for your hometown? No, it's just out in the world, so whatever server that you're on, it's there, and everyone else who's there can see it. Earlier in the stream, if you buffer it back, which now would probably be a good time to do it since it seems like they might be having server issues. Earlier in the stream, we were exploring a ton of these player-built buildings. You essentially, you get to put down a plot basically wherever you want. I think the only restriction is it has to be in one of the safe regions, but these are very large regions, and it also like can't be on top of a dungeon entrance, so you can't block an entrance with a building. But practically everywhere, like 90% of the play space within the safe zones, which the whole zone that we've been exploring in the stream so far, these are all only safe zones. We haven't been anywhere because it's not implemented yet. So think like if you played ArcAge, but way more open, whereas you can put down a plot of land practically anywhere and build a home. You just described Albion. Albion, no, you can't build bases anywhere in Albion. There are like, you know, you go to a town and there's like 20 spots and you have to claim a spot and pay taxes on it. It's quite different. And no PvP raiding of bases? No. Yeah, because the bases are only built in the safe areas. The PvP happens outside of those areas, and there's no base building there. So there is no system of having to, like, defend your base and make sure no one's attacking it while you're offline or dealing with, like, attack windows or anything. There's nothing like that. Where the bases are is not PvP. The danger areas where you're also going to go for completing quests and doing the dungeon diving and going after the high tier bosses and enemy locations, there will be also PvP in that, although they've been pretty unspecific as to exactly how that's going to be implemented, like how the PvP is going to work. We don't exactly know. We don't know if it's going to be like total free-for-all in those areas, if there will be only spots, if you need like a certain buff to PvP, or there need to be certain conditions met to PvP. Like only maybe only within certain areas of the danger. Like we just don't know. There's still a whole lot of unknown as to how the PvP is going to be implemented. We just know there will be PvP in the game. That's about it. Oh, this is running. This server is not working out for me. So what I think I might do in the meantime is I do have my prior footage from when I played that I could just run and talk about the game while we're waiting for the server to come back online. I think we might do that. So let me try to find a good one. I want to try to find one where we did a bunch so I can show you guys some of the game. We had some combat in this one. Yeah, because it just seems really bad timing for the servers to be dead as I'm in the as we're in the middle of a sponsored stream. Less than ideal, I would say. All right, I'm gonna run through and show you guys some of my gameplay from when I played with my buddy and we went and engaged some of those camps together. I think that's probably a good thing to show. Yep, let's do that. And then I can just talk about the game while I wait for the servers to come back online. So let me try to see if I can change source here. Let's see. Just 1 second. I think media source will do it. Oh, you know what I should do? I should just do window capture. I'm going to keep trying to log in the meantime, though. Sorry to hear about your cold. Oh, what, you know, it happens. Is this just regular MMO? What's different about it? No. Survival Sandbox MMO. Completely player-built cities and towns and all of that. All right, window capture. Let's see. Media player. All right, I'm going to try to see. That should do it. Do I need to just move so that it... Yeah, let me set this up. And I'm just going to keep an eye on the servers, but in the meantime, I might as well just run some footage for you guys so you can see, because it looks like the servers are kaput right now. And I just want to make sure that this is all perfect. I think this will actually work. Just gonna branch it up a little bit more. And I believe I should be able to still, yeah, because I'm still in and I can still check the servers and stuff while this is running. Awesome, great. Why does this remind me of New World? Probably the visuals a little bit. And definitely, like, for example, the tree chopping, like, looks similar to New World. But it is quite different. It is way more survival game in that vein than it is. Because New World is pretty much like a theme park MMO that has gathering, you know what I mean? But this is like a full-on sandbox game. No, really no theme park to it from what we've seen and heard so far. All right, so we're basically going through here and we're going to be clearing out enemy camps. That's the whole idea. This is where we managed to get a lot of good loot and everything. Found quite a bit. We got bows and stuff. In fact, you can see right now I have equipped a bow. All my buff items are on the lower right corner. So different food buffs, different berries, mushrooms, meat that we cooked. And unfortunately I couldn't find the, like, I tried to mouse over the different things and see, to try to figure out what they actually did. It was hard to tell. I'm pretty sure some of them would increase our maximum amount of stamina and health, But I'm not sure about things like regeneration. How's the audio balance, by the way, guys? Is it, is the gameplay in the background too loud right now? Because I haven't adjusted for this particular thing. Since I'm just running the gameplay back, basically. It's not bad right now? Okay. Thank you, guys. So here we basically, we just cleared some camps. I figured this was just some good footage to show while we wait on the servers. And I do believe at parts of it we've got some base building and stuff that I can show you guys as well. No friendly fire. Nope, no friendly fire. Nope. Which is a good thing because targeting was a tad imprecise at the moment with this temporary combat system. I tell you though, if they continue to flesh out the world, I'm really interested in exploring and seeing what they have planned for things like dungeons and boss fights. In some of the early screenshots and footage, they've shown like crazy oversized like world bosses, like very, very large, like the size of this building we're standing in front, you know? So it definitely appears like they've got some big plans for some like larger scale encounters and larger scale enemies. And even just this alpha version of the game is quite good looking. Even running on balanced DLSS, or even on performance DLSS, I've thought it looks pretty good. High setting, balance and performance DLSS are the two that I've played the most at. But yeah, we got three different food buffs. We did end up finding, as we clear through here, we found health potions. And I do know that there are like apothecary stations, crafting stations. So clearly you can make potions. There's been a pretty wide variety of different herbs and other plants to gather. So I haven't really actually dove into the system of potion crafting, but I do know it's a thing. No dodging and such in combat, not right now. No, the current combat, which they have said is placeholder, is literally just attacking. It's literally just left clicking. So bear that in mind. Like if you're looking at this combat and being like, this looks really, really simple and basic, that's because it is. That's because it's not meant to be. It is not the final iteration. And we are still in early alpha, so quite a ways to go. But yeah, I mean, the general premise of the game I find really interesting. I like the idea of this kind of adventure system. It actually reminds me quite a bit of Valheim in that way. Where, you know, in Valheim, you know, you start off in the area, in the first like tier region, and you do your stuff, you do some basic exploring, you build up your base, you get yourself equipped, and then you start venturing out into the dangerous areas before having to come back or establish a new base or whatever. I like that whole kind of push and pull mechanic. I find that really appealing, games that do that, if they do it well. And so I'm just going to be interested to see once that gets brought into the game and once we can check it out and test it, and they implement the final version of combat, I'll be really interested. But even just this basic level introduction, you know, the point of this particular test, although we're doing some combat here, the point of this particular test was just really the building and crafting. And I like the look of the structures. I do wish that there's, I do hope that they consider kind of reining in a little bit the early tier 1 crafting, just to get some starter players going. Like, look at all this loot from these guys. It's crazy. Although I think what actually happened there was that I picked up Rip. Oh, buddy's in trouble. Buddy's in a lot of trouble. He's not gonna, oh no, that's not good. Easy to get overwhelmed. Enemy spawns seem to just like happen while we're in this camp as well. So we'd like turn a corner and like 2 or 3 things would just appear all of a sudden. Man down. Can you break down stuff you find since no vendors exist? Break down stuff you find? You mean like gear items? I actually don't know if that was a feature or not. I'm actually not entirely certain. That's a good question. Is it early access carried over into launch? Well, it's not early access right now. It's alpha. If you mean like Steam early access, that's not what this is. And in like 99.9% of cases with games like this, early access does not carry over to launch. But I think we're still a ways away from even an early access version of this game. I really have no idea. I haven't seen any official wording on it, but I would have to assume we'd be at least a year away from something like that. Like late 2024. But not really sure. They do have a Steam page. If you guys want to check out more about this game, check out those links below. Again, this is a sponsored stream. They just wanted me to check it out, show it to you. Which is, anytime I do any dedicated sponsor stuff, it's really that simple. Just be like, hey, show this to people, see if they're interested in it. Although there's really not much for you to like do right now other than check out the website, or if you want, you can go to Steam and wishlist it, which basically just means tell me when there's updates for this thing. So whenever they, you know, post official updates on Steam, blog posts, whatever, you'll get notified of that. But a lot of really interesting ideas. It's still very early days, but they have the basic framework. I had mentioned this earlier. I think the thing that I find most, there's 2 things that I find most interesting right now. One, like the scale of the world and how far you can see in that world. Like you can see these player constructed buildings, like thousands and thousands of, like there are player buildings down there by the lake, and like you can see it. It's crazy. All right, we can swap back. It actually just started getting chuggy because we are back in. And this is my other character that I had, who does evidently have some of his stuff on him still. That pleases me greatly. This is my stuff. This is me. Oh, sick, dude. So this is the other character I had built before I did the run through with my buddy. And I ended up swapping, but this is like this is the plot that I had set up right here. It's actually just outside of the town area. I'm sorry, I'm like, my words aren't coming to me. Outside of this field with all of those enemy encampments. But now I'm actually a bit more equipped where we could actually go in and check it out. Like, because I have my buff food. I've got tons of it, actually. So, you know what? I want to do that. We're going to go push those camps again. Is your stuff safe there? No one can steal for you? Yeah, there's no, like, base griefing in this game. In fact, the entire region that we're in, everything here, players can build anywhere, and no one can destroy it. There's no like base raiding, there's no base destruction, there's no clan versus clan. All of the PvP is gonna happen outside of these safe areas in the dark adventure zone. I don't know the exact name for them. I wanna say that the safe areas are called Heartlands. I think that was the phrasing that they used. And then you're safe in there. You build, you craft, you gear yourself up, you get equipment, you get weapons, and then you go out into these regions where there is no base building, and it's all PvE, going into dungeons, going into caverns, finding and taking on bosses, going on like quest adventures. You know, maybe you find a tome somewhere, it tells you to go to this creek down in whatever, and you go there and maybe you find some treasure, spells, stuff like that. Oh, lame, only PvE. No, it's not only PvE. There is PvP in the dark areas. There's just no PvP base destroying. That's the separation. There are safe areas where the base construction happens, gathering, crafting, building, and then there are the PvE and PvP danger areas where there is no base building. That's how it's kind of, those are the buckets that it's put in. But this right here, and every building that you're gonna see, this is player built. Every single building is player built. Until the players go on the server and start populating and constructing these buildings, it's all just terrain and landscape. With the exception of the occasional fort, that enemy, like that thing up there, that is an enemy fort. But anything that looks like a house or a town or a city was built by one or many players. And there's actually some real impressive ones. I'm on the old server right now, so for the sake of talking about it and showing it to you guys, I'm gonna go to the mountain's edge and show you some of these pretty impressive looking player built stuff. Another player right here, chopping away. Can we play PAX now? It's invite only closed alpha, and then it's only lasting I think a few days more from now. I don't know if they're sending out more invites or not, but it's a pretty limited test, and the current version of the game is only really about base building and crafting. The combat is a very small placeholder at the moment. Day-night cycle, yep. Sleep mechanics, I didn't see one, but I assume there's something. Oh, rip. I don't know if the servers are dying again, but my stamina bar refuses to refill. There we go. Oh, my health dropped, okay. How we doing? Everything all right? Everything good? Okay, I want to show you some of the really cool bases that people have built up over here. Yeah, so there's a few right down there. Can you kind of see them in the valley? Also up on that hill right there. That's all player built. And they actually, it's pretty intricate what they built. I want to see if I can find, there was a ladder down the mountain. Oh, you think the red mushroom is debuffing you? Oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. I had a berserker mushroom. Yep. We're gonna pull that off. I had a berserker mushroom, and you are correct. It debuffs me. I'm guessing it like increases my damage, but it like stops stamina regeneration. That's right. Good catch. Is it low fantasy? Yeah, so there are some like magic and stuff in there. Like there are enemy mages and they'll cast like fireballs, but it is very low fantasy. I'm not gonna pull the flex right now. Wasn't ladders on the other server? I am actually on that server. I'm on the server where I had the base with my other character. So it should be around this way. So I'm gonna actually head around. I don't recall. I think it was behind our base that we had, but I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. Yep. Perfect. Okay, so I just need to go up and around here. Scheiße. Should be able to take him. I have enough health. I actually don't think the big guy aggroed me. No, he didn't. Ooh, nice. Gonna go for the mage. I will tell you, I feel like my drops that we were getting when I played with my buddy were way better. Like, I was consistently getting gear, health potions. I think we got a buff potion at some point, although we didn't really figure out what it did, but I don't know if I can get up here. Trying to do a little bit of Skyrim mountain climbing, but okay, good. No, thank you. I think that will kill me. Let's see if I can go here. There we go. Good, good, good. All right. So I just want to head down and show off some of those bases again. Because definitely in this build of the game, as it is limited to, or at least focused on, the gathering and crafting, checking out these player-built houses is the most interesting thing. And it's like, it takes way too long for me as a solo player to build up anything remotely impressive, so I'd rather just show you guys this. Does it have centralized market where you can sell your loot? I've not seen anything like that, but I've only, you know, scratched the surface of what's in this game. I don't know. And there's only so much available in this build, so I don't know about anything like that. Funny enough, I'm getting the here's an alpha for you. I'm getting an underwater sound and it sounds like I'm underwater right now. Like somehow I triggered that. Oh good, I just emerged from the water. Excellent. So we did check these out earlier, but I want to show these spots for people who weren't around earlier, because this is actually some of the coolest stuff. And there is quite an little conglomerate of bases down this way. Take it easy, Dave. Alright, so here's the first really significant player-built house here. You can see they got a few production facilities outside. Let's take a look. Got a kiln. Bit of storage chest. We won't have access to that. Here's a basic furnace. Looks like it's doing some processing right now. Now it seems like some of the crafting facilities are like fully shareable. Can't chop down the tree outside of his house, rip. And then some aren't. Like those are all private containers. But if he had like a basic, yeah, so like I could use the stone anvil, right? If I had these iron sheets and iron ingot, I can make myself an iron axe head. And then you would need that. Okay, perfect. So you can see we have the one-handed stone axe, and then you work up the different tiers of it, right? Same thing with the pickaxe. Then we got a lantern to replace the torch. Spinning wheel, tanning rack, blacksmith workbench, basic and advanced. Builder workbench. These come in different tiers as well. And then here's the weaponsmith. So the axes that we saw, these are like, you know, tree chopping axes, right? These are offensive axes. And warhammers, apparently. And maces. And a battle axe, damn. Do you claim land? Yeah. Yep. You just, in fact, I can show you everyone's claim right now. Right? So I'm gonna pull out my construction hammer. Oh, let me swap it. Let me go zoom out the camera. Pull out my construction hammer, and you see, there's his claim. And it's like, you can see the parameters of it here. And this looks like a basic single player claim. That's about the size of the one that I placed down. But around the corner over here, there are some much larger claims, and I'm not certain of the mechanic, but there's clearly some mechanic in which you can upgrade the claim. Or place a larger claim or something. Maybe a guild claim. I don't really know exactly how it functions, but... And all those little beams of white show the parameters around other players' claims. Now, I already have a claim placed, so I can't, like, put down another one right now. I already have a plot. But if I didn't, I could just theoretically come here and put one down. And there appear to be pretty much no limitations in the safe areas of the game where you can put down. I think the only thing is they restrict, like, they've restricted it so that you can't, like, block the entrance to a dungeon, for example. Like, let me see. I know there's a cave. Yeah, there's a cave over here, right? So there will be some restriction where you can't, like, build in front of a cave so that people can't access it. But other than that, as far as I'm aware, everywhere else on the map, you can build. If you build next to another player's claim, it will enlarge both your claims. Oh, okay, there you go. So that explains it. So, you know, presumably guilds working together can place their claims next to each other and turn the small circular claims into the larger ones, the larger square plots, which is what some people over here have done. Like, here you go. Here's a square. Here's a big square plot right here. Like, look at that. So let's actually go check out this one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you have details about the RPG elements of this game? Well, I know there's a spell system. If you take a look at the bottom right, I can cycle between inventory and spells. I don't have any right now, but you get spells. There'll be some magic spells, fireballs, buffs, ring of fire. Those are the ones that I've seen so far. There's likely more, right? Maybe some electricity, probably some healing, things like that. And then there's a gearing system where you've got all these different slots of gear. There's even layered gear, so you have like undergarments and then like armor on top of it. Amulets, rings, bracelets, right? All this stuff. Plus spell casting. There's no like skill tree. These are just like progress skills from doing things. So as you cut wood, your wood cutting goes up. As you cook, your cooking goes up. As you fight, your melee attack goes up, your range attack, your sprint goes up, all the stuff. You do the things, you get better at them, but there's no like unlocking a new skill, I guess with the exception of any spells that you might learn. But definitely one of the most interesting parts of this game, as it sits right now, is that everything is built by people. This whole thing. Whenever you see like a home type structure, except for like ruined forts or like caves or dungeons, the buildings, the homes, the towns, the castles, all of that is built by players. So this whole thing, likely a group, but people built this. And then everything else that is right outside of here, people built these. I love how I show you like the shittiest view, right? Like, wow, guys, can you believe it? Someone built this. No, there's some really, really good ones. That is this one right here, straight ahead that we were just in. That's one of the more impressive ones that I've seen on this server. but there are some really good. I mean, that I can't imagine the amount of like freaking harvesting that took. That is quite a behemoth of a building. So here's a more reasonable sized abode. Likely just a single person put this together. You know, it's just a little homestead next to that manor over there. That's a pretty good looking one too, right up on this hill as well. Yeah. Oh, and here's one. You can see their plot. You can tell they have a small circular plot because they've literally built all their chests amongst that circle. Let me actually pull it out to see the plot parameters. Oh no, look at that. He's combined it. Wait, this is circular, but then it pulls into a square right here. That's kind of funny. This might be a guild that's just getting started on that area. Funny. Bunch of ones over there. Let's take a look at some of the built ones up over here. I want to see kind of what configuration people put together. Oh yeah, this is the one. This is the church. Funny. So yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, nice baseline. I do, you know, cool looking houses and construction facilities. I am most intrigued, at least personally, about the other aspect of the game, the one that unfortunately just isn't in the test at the moment. The adventuring, the combat, once it gets actually added and the placeholder that exists is replaced with a fleshed out combat system. The going out and adventuring, the dungeoning, the combat, the PvP system. That is the side of any game like this that I'm most interested in. But I mean, I can't, like, this looks cool, right? Like, this is the lighting of this stuff. Just how it all is pieced together. Like, it is visually appealing. But I'm going to keep an eye on this game because I definitely want to see when that other stuff is implemented. Hopefully in the coming months, next year. I mean, it's still in alpha, so still very early. The fact that they've said as much that the combat is just placeholder, that tells you, right? They don't even have the fully fleshed out combat system, so the game is still a ways away, but at least as a baseline, as a starting point, they've got some pretty cool stuff here. It is a pretty looking game. I also really like the draw distance. The look of the buildings and stuff, the density of the like foliage and the environment, like all this stuff, that's cool. But then also how far you can see and that like buildings are loading in at that massive distance. Those stuff that they have right now in the game, I think are really good. What I would like to see personally is more of a streamlining of the construction system. Because it is a bit much right now to get going even with the most basic stuff. I feel like you should be able to, at the very least, within the first 1 or 2 hours, get yourself some tier 1 armor and some tier 1 actual weapons. And it doesn't seem like that's really possible as a solo player in an hour or two. At least from what I saw trying to go through that process. I think you should be able to build like a tier 1 sword, tier 1 set of armor. It doesn't even need to build all the slots, but you know, tier 1 chest and pants. Just make it leather, like a leather set of armor, tier 1 sword and bow. I feel like you should be able to do that within the first hour, so that the people who just want to, who don't want to do the tree harvesting, don't want to do the building, and want to instead focus on the adventuring side of the game, going out exploring, fighting. And that's not, you know, that the whole point of this test was for these systems, so I get that that's what's in here right now. I'm just saying I hope through the course of development they streamline those things, because I definitely, like, I will tell my friends, you guys chop the trees and build the base. I'm going out into the woods, and hopefully I'm going to come back with some arrows or some shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, as a baseline for an alpha, not too bad, man. I think we're gonna be wrapping it up here, but thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out the links below, by the way, if you want to take a look at the website. If you want to keep track of the game's development and get news and updates for it, you can check out the Steam page and give it a wish list, which is basically just a checkbox saying, hey, tell me when they publish updates and news about this thing. But there you go, that's Pax Dei. Thanks for coming in. I'm gonna head out. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'm gonna keep an eye on this game. I will likely, I know this is a sponsored stream, but I'm sure you guys have seen, I've made at least either 1 or 2 videos, and it's just, anytime there's a new MMO, I also like survival games, and this is basically like a combination of those. Those are things I'm interested in keeping an eye on, so I will keep an eye on this myself. I'll likely update you guys in the future, but there you go. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys later, all right? Take it easy.